Hello, welcome to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz. I'll be guiding you on this journey today. We are doing readings by color, which has been so fun. This is an idea that's been just like swirling around me for weeks now, and I finally just like took the time to go through all of my tarot decks and separate them out by color as best as I could. And also, it's just been really fun to use decks that I either haven't used in a while or ever. So, anyway, this is the pink group. And I know like pink is sometimes associated to the heart chakra, which is green, but like rose quartz is also associated to the heart chakra. And not that I'm even going by chakra, it just kind of ended up going that way. But for me personally, I always associate pink to the crown chakra, which I know is indigo, but for whatever reason in my own practice, in my own, meditation around crown chakra, pink always comes up for me. But I just wanted to give a couple themes, words, color psychology that comes through with, associations with the word pink. And those are hope. All of a sudden I lost my train of thought. Nurturing, compassion, love, of course, comes through with the color pink. Soothing, calming. One of the interesting things, probably one of the only things that I remember from a color psychology class that I took 20 years ago was that pink helps to calm anger. So they will paint rooms pink, like in prisons or in mental health institutions. And obviously not all of them, but they have, put that into practice, or they did at some point, maybe even just by researching this, but in an effort to induce feelings of calm and suppress aggression. We even think of like rose-colored glasses, rose quartz over here, rose-colored glasses, just seeing the positive, happy, confident. So yeah, those are just a few things that come through with the color pink. And so let's get into your reading. We have 2 tarot decks here and we have 2 oracle decks. We're going to pull 4 different sections of tarot cards, and then we're going to pull a clarifying card for each one of those. And then we are going to pull an oracle card from each, of course, oracle deck as well. Who do I want to start with? We'll start with this. All right. So, what is the current energy surrounding the pink baddies? Ooh, ooh. We have the 4 of Inspiration, or the 4 of Wands. Beautiful. Look at all that pink. And I was just thinking it. I didn't even say. What is being hidden or avoided, suppressed, controlled? We have the 5 of Materials, or the 5 of Pentacles. What's coming in, or like what is ready to shift, to change, or expressed. We have the 9 of Cups, and then the guidance or the advice. What's coming up? The 4 of Materials, or the 4 of Pentacles. Okay. And let's get clarifiers. Let's clarify the Four of Wands. We have the Five of Swords. And then for the Five of Pentacles, we have the Three of Pentacles. And a clarifier for the Nine of Cups. The Fool, love that. And then for the Four of Pentacles, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Beautiful. Okay. Let's get the Oracle cards out from the Audacity Deck. We have the Empress. And then the last card. There we go. Ooh, interesting. No. Wait, postpone, pause, say no. All right, let me just kind of make sure everything is... The book says you do it for this Empress card. That's what I don't think I said it out loud. I'm sorry. I'm looking at this Empress card because look how much amethyst is. I mean, like her throne is like... I mean, this, it's almost like comical, but it's like, you know, when you do like surround yourself with, you know, it's like leaving notes out for yourself or, almost like exaggerating something in order to either remind you of what your why is, or I mean, to use it. And like I said, like it feels like protection to me. I love even that like her hair is purple. I love the association with, you know, intuition as well. The book says a gorgeous goddess sits unperturbed on her throne while breastfeeding. You do it all, and you do it with ease. You have a remarkable ability to be one step in your body and one step out into the spirit realm. You are the ultimate queen, and nothing knocks you off your throne. This is a message from beyond to keep your eyes wide open, stay centered, and rule with confidence and ease. I will say, I mean, I feel like that's, of course, like, I mean, it's perfect for this reading. And also, you know, I haven't even said this in every single reading, but I am like, there's only been, I think maybe 2 readings where there's like a figure that is also wearing the majority of like the color I'm reading for. So if your favorite color is pink, if it's one of them, or even if you're here because for whatever reason, it doesn't, you know, matter, of course, if you like the color pink or not, but it could be a message about wearing the color pink. And maybe even, you know, just Googling the color psychology around the color pink and just even looking a little bit further at the themes, associations that come from the color pink. And also what I didn't say before, and I meant to, is that pink is created out of using red and white, right? And red is about intensity, authenticity, passion, motivation, also love as well. And then white is purity, cleansing, calmness. It's like the absence of color, right? I mean, I'm honestly not even entirely sure if white is quote unquote considered a color, but it does transform and affect the vibrancy or the vibrancy of whatever color it is mixed with. And it kind of tones it down, which is interesting. So yeah, and then on this Fool card, that's kind of why I was getting that, is because she is wearing pink. In this Three of Pentacles, she is wearing pink. There's a girl on this Four of Wands that is wearing pink. Her shirt is pink. I mean, I know that these decks, like have a heavy pink influence in them, but I think it matters. So yeah, let's just start, of course, at the beginning. Also, as soon as I say it, I go back to this Empress card. Amethyst is the stone for February. So there could have been a significant event that happened for you in February. February could be, a significant month for you in some capacity. So we start with the Four of Wands and the Five of Swords, and that's the current energy. And the Four of Wands is about celebration. Wands have to do with the actions that you take, the motivation behind the actions that you take, creativity, passion. It's red, like it's like all the things associated with the color red, intensity. I also see wands as being information by way of experience, because that's what we get by trying things. We figure out what we like. We figure out what we don't like. What stays, what goes. What do we want to keep doing? What do we want to stop doing, right? Like, and truly the only way to figure those things out is by trying them. So when we get to the Four of Wands, there's this level of stability and security there. The actions that you have taken have gotten you to a point of having a sturdy foundation. It could be, there are four people in this card. It is a card of celebration. There usually are other people involved in the Four of Wands. It does talk about unity and harmony as well, which is, like working together, which is the Three of Pentacles over here. But it's like everybody is invested in, I want to say maybe like the outcome. It could also be, like everybody has their own motives or like their own motivations, but it lines up, right? Because even this is sometimes called the marriage card, because unity, like unifying, coming together. And when we think about even like marrying things together, it's like it is bringing people together, or it doesn't have to be people. It's bringing elements together that complement each other. I'm really like working through this actually kind of slowly, because I honestly never really like processed this card in this way. Obviously, like I know, like it is sometimes like, or not even sometimes, a lot of times the card of marriage, but I just honestly, I never really stopped to like think of it in this capacity of like, what even is marriage? It is like to become one type of thing. It's, there are motivations on both sides, and, hopefully there is like a complementary motive on each side, and, chemistry and, I want to say, what is the word? Like, I keep thinking agreeance, but I'm not sure if that's the right word that I'm trying to like agreeability or what. However, though, this does feel like it involves more than one person, though, like specifically because there are four people on the Four of Inspiration. Usually on the Five of Swords, there are more than one person. On the Three of Pentacles, that involves more than one or two people as well. So, however this fits for you, whether it is a like romantic relationship, whether it's a platonic relationship, whether it's, a business relationship. It could, of course, involve all of those things. But the first thing I thought of when I saw the Four of Wands is like finding your tribe. You know, it's people that share the same interests. It's people that share the same motivations as well, even if their motives are different. The way that they are going about achieving or taking action towards those things are the same as yours. This looks like, you know, like a healing circle, or like a sisterhood, or a woman's circle, or, you know, I mean, I'm saying that, of course, because they're sitting around as much in a circle as they can be. And whatever that is for you, it doesn't have to strictly be healing, you know, I mean, it could be whatever. So the Five of Swords, we can see that there is two swords sticking out of their back. This guy is walking away with three swords in his hand. Also, this is also something that I've never really, can I do that without creating too much of a glare? There's this crow sitting on these two swords here. And then there's these four crows. It almost kind of looks like they're running off this guy to me, or just making sure that he leaves, like creating some sort of interference. I mean, this feels like pretty self-explanatory about being stabbed in the back. I also wanted to look up crows because she is holding a crow as well. Transformation, intelligence, and a deep connection to the spiritual realm. Often acting as a messenger between light and dark, or life and death, it symbolizes the ability to adapt, embrace change, and use higher perspective to navigate life's mysteries. Also, even too, like how much like crown chakra stuff is coming through here. So even, you know, looking up crown chakra meditations, crown chakra clearings, crown chakra protections, crown chakra, I want to say like empowering, but I really hate that when that happens. Like when the word just isn't right there. Amplifiers, support, practice, you know, just things to strengthen your crown chakra there. That's the word. Strengthening is the word that I was actually really looking for. Even, you know, connecting directly to it. The Five of Swords for me is like a battle of wits. Swords have to do with our mind, our thoughts, our beliefs, our mindset, truth and honesty, intelligence, which is, you know, like, you know, we just said that like with crows. I also see swords as a suit of ego, because that's generally where we tend to hear our ego, is in our minds. And our ego is created by the stories that we attach to experiences, feelings, circumstances, and it becomes our belief systems. It becomes why we do and don't do things. It becomes our triggers, our activations. It also becomes the source of our healing and awareness. I mean, ego is not all bad, right? But limiting beliefs, you know, self-sabotage is in there, but also like confidence and what you believe you are capable of. So this can go a couple different ways for me, because at first I'm like, somebody involved in a group stabbed you in the back, or there is conflict in some capacity. It could be a man that did that. And I'm saying that because there is this man that's, you know, walking away back here. It could also even be recognizing your masculine wound, whether that has to do, you know, like within ourselves, because obviously like we all have masculine and feminine energy, or it could be masculine wound as far as you in relationship to masculine. This could also even be a message about needing that separation. It could be about, because again, right? I mean, there's this crow sitting on these two swords, and then these other four crows are, again, like, it looks like to me like they're chasing the guy off or just making sure that he does leave. Like, could you, like, how crows sound? Like, imagine four of them flying over your head. Like, like, it's like making sure that he doesn't turn around and come back. And that could even be the protection thing here. So yeah, I mean, it could go either way. It's either that there was a sense of backstabbing and like competition and conflict. And like I said, the Five of Swords to me is a battle of wits. This is somebody who's like trying to like mentally outsmart you, or like somebody has to be the smartest person in the room, or it's like the whole hurt people thing. Or again, the other side of it, and then we'll move on. The other side is that you are engaging in or trying to find a group of people who are actively healing the same type of wound that you have. Even, these two swords in their back, there is truth in that. There is truth in seeing how you were betrayed. Even, if it was like being fed a fairy tale and recognizing that fairy tale doesn't really hold water. I mean, it's, it could be, of course, the people around you. It could have to do with the ideology that you have had too, because I mean, this is an angel, and that to me speaks to religion. This over here is more spiritual to me. So there could even be a thing, like happening around your belief system. And then over here with the Five of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles and what is hidden. The Five of Pentacles is about lack, scarcity. Interesting too that we have two fives. I mean, from different decks, but Pentacles have to do with our money, how we get it, how we save it, how we spend it. That has to do with our access to stability, resources, materials, food, transportation, housing. That has to do with our, like all of that is like wrapped in our security and our stability. But also your time and your energy. Where are you investing your time? Where are you physically showing up? It has to do with our body and our health, illness. And, there's this figure that's like laying on the ground here in this big room, I mean, like there's this doorway here. And then, I mean, this hand, like I keep being drawn to this hand. And especially like with the Three of Pentacles here, which is about collaboration and working with other people, contracts even. And this is what is hidden, or what is being avoided, or what is being suppressed. And look who it is. Although this guy doesn't have wings, but it looks pretty similar, at least to me, to this guy. And she looks pretty similar too. She also looks like she's in a wedding dress, This could have to do with, I mean, if you are married or if you were married. Now I'm like going backwards. I actually don't even think it's the masculine that you need to heal. It's the feminine that you need to heal, like within yourself. Even like with this Empress card in the middle here, it could be a mother wound. You could have found yourself either in that relationship or leaving it because of a mother wound. And there's this energy here about like remothering yourself, like really understanding what it is to first of all heal yourself, but second to to nurture yourself. This is, I keep going back to, I keep like repeating to myself, like, this is what is hidden or what is being suppressed. And Five of Pentacles is lack, scarcity, not feeling, supported, not feeling stable. It's usually depicted as or described as being left out in the cold, which to me feels like abandonment. Having to fend for yourself, not feeling like you have a support system, not even feeling like you can create that support system for yourself. And then with the Three of Pentacles there, and especially since there is a man and a woman on there, again, like it could have to do with your parents. It could have to do with overcompensating in relationship, like having to carry the load. And it's like, for one, that has to do with your sense of self-worth, because the Five of Pentacles has a very low sense of self-worth. And the Three of Pentacles would be trying to work for it, or trying to make connections that make you feel supported or bring you that sense of security. And then again, like I was saying about just overstretching yourself, taking on, like too much, because, you don't want the other person to leave, or you don't want to like wind up back, in the Five of Pentacles. Or, I mean, really, I like the Five of Pentacles is the reason why, I mean, like this is almost feeling like trauma bonds as well. Like my last relationship, I was married, and I was married for 8 months. And by the time I moved out, or like by the time I left, like I didn't really have anything like unresolved with him. I take that back. I did. And I was like writing it down. I wrote like 25 probably like different letters to him. I ended up sending one. But it was more about how would I end up in a relationship where I would get married and I would leave after 8 months. Like, how did I get here? Like, how did I wind up with a person like this? And that was the catalyst of huge healing for me. So if that's the reason why I had to go through that, then great, I guess, because it has been my greatest reason to heal myself. And also even, like figure out like my own worth, my own desires, which is, I feel like is what is over here for what is coming in, or what is, what needs to be shown. Because we have the Nine of Cups and we have the Fool card. The Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment. Having your needs met, feeling purposeful, feeling fulfilled, feeling. Cups have to do with, and literally we have all of the suits out here as well, which is like very well rounded. But cups have to do with our feelings. How do we feel about ourselves? How do we feel about our lives? How do we feel about our environment? What is our relationship to love? How do we give it? But more importantly, how do we receive it? Because I think a lot of us are really good at like offering a shoulder or offering support or showing up for other people, stretching ourselves really thin. But when it comes to receiving that, and also even requiring it to be reciprocal, we abandon ourselves. We abandon our own needs. So, what is your relationship to love? Do you know how you want to be loved? Do you love yourself in that way? Intuition, empathy, compassion, grace. I would even say like imagination and fun is coming through as well. But again, right, like the 9 of Cups is wish fulfillment. This is individually taking care of yourself. This is self-love. This is self-care. This is like recognizing that you are that bitch. And also, regardless of how much you gave in a relationship, no matter, how and why you did that, what your motivations were, the reasons, the trauma or the lack of something in your life that created the circumstances in order to be that person, like regardless of that, this is you giving yourself all of the things. Because here's the other thing too, like here's the other thing that is coming through my mind as I'm talking about this, because then I started thinking about relationship to other people, and also why it's always like so like I feel like once you kind of get on like a healing journey and maybe even like a spiritual journey as well, like, and therapy, but like it's always about, or it comes up about filling your own cup and learning what that means for you. Like, how do you recharge? How do you fill your own cup? How do you take care of yourself? Right? Like in relation to, or in comparison to how you take care of other people. And what are your motivations behind it? Because also too, like once you start to look at, wow, like my motivations for helping other people and then my motivations for taking care of myself, like the gap there is pretty effing wide. But what I started thinking though is when we expect to have our cup filled by other people, when we have ourselves convinced that, being available and, doing all this stuff and being everything to everyone in this Empress card, but then no doubt we still at the end of the day feel unfulfilled. And we feel that sense, that lack of purpose even. And that's because like people are also like, they're trying to fill our cup from their funky ass cup. Like, okay, how do I say this? Like the support that we try to give to other people is highly motivated by the lack of support that we received, right? Like we try to show up for other people in a way that we are lacking, that other people didn't show up for us. However, though, is that really what the other person needs? Or is that like what you need? And sure, other people will take it. Other people will accept it because they are benefiting from it. But at the end of the day, they're not really getting their needs met because you're showing up for them in a way that you want, or that someone, an important person in your life, and maybe it was a mother, but they didn't show up for you in that way. So it's like you're going to make damn sure that you show up for other people in that way. But again, right? I mean, like that's coming from your own place of lack. Even over here, like the lack, and then how you are collaborating with other people, or what's the how you are working with other people. And it almost like, even going back to the Four of Wands and the Five of Swords, this is like really getting to like the crux of it. It's also like, and I hope these examples are like making sense, but it's also assuming that somebody else's actions are because of feelings that you have. Like, oh, they're probably acting like that because this is how I would feel, or this is how I would act. You have no clue what other people are doing and why they're doing it. Unless you ask, of course. And have you? Like, have you said, hey, like I'm interpreting your actions or your feelings or this conversation or whatever in this way because this is how I perceive it. Is that correct for you? Even asking somebody else, like, how do you feel supported? But also, I mean, like, this 9 of Cups here, though, you have to know how to do that for yourself. And even, like, it being under the 4 of Wands, if this is a group that you are finding, it is going to help. Like, she's fully submerged underwater, fully submerged in her emotions. There's all these diamonds around. Diamonds are the birthstone for April, and the Fool card here, which is Uranus, and that's moving into Gemini this month, actually. But this is a leap of faith. This is, like heading off in a completely different direction, or allowing yourself to really commit to your own growth, like your own path. All these butterflies as well, like butterflies are about transformation. It's metamorphosis, change. There's this little, it looks like, like a, what is that vase? Like, what is it? I keep wanting to say like genie in a bottle, but like, whatever this is called. And also, since the Fool card is, I was going to say confirming this 9 of Cups, like your emotional state is going to change. These like breakthroughs that you're having here. And even as a result of, being really deep in your own emotional state, whatever it is, it really is like, taking care of yourself, connecting to your intuition, connecting back to your body, tethering even back to your body. That's what gives you the freedom even, or the liberation, because that's also Uranus is about liberation. There is a sense of freedom here. Also, like, isn't it kind of interesting how like the bottom colors on this 4 of Wands are like, it almost kind of looks like it's like bleeding into this 9 of Cups. This feels like a very individual, like this is even, like changing the way that you express yourself. Interesting with this No card. And like the first thing that I heard was like learning how to say no. And maybe for a little while you need to lead with no, especially if for the majority of your life you have led with yes. It's kind of going in the opposite direction, and then, you find your equilibrium through that. If you lead with, you can change your mind. I mean, you can change your mind when you say yes too. It's just easier to change your mind when you lead with no than it is when you lead with yes. But if if somebody asks you if you want to do something, if somebody asks you if you can take something on, if there's a responsibility or a task or whatever it is, it's being delegated to you, whatever it is, just no. And allow yourself to feel how you feel about it. And if you want to change your mind, you can change your mind. But if it's still no, and if it stays a no, then great. Also, even just the disruption, it's disrupting a pattern. And then we have the 4 of Pentacles and I almost said the 10 of the Wheel of Fortune. It is a 10, but the Wheel of Fortune. I keep looking at this little silhouette of the camel here. And like camels store water, right? Because they are native to dry environments. And I just keep hearing in my head about dry spells. Maybe you need to do like a dry April. I mean, it doesn't have to start at the beginning of the month, but you could do a dry May. Even with like the storing of water thing, it's like going back to this 9 of Cups over here, getting clear with your emotions before you express them. But the 4 of Pentacles is about budgeting and discipline, saving in general, because, even going back to the camel thing, this is like really focusing on your own stability, your own growth, whether that does have to do with your savings or your checking account, whether that does have to do with the type of work that you do and the type of pay that you get. Even, of course, like access people have to your physical energy. It could have to do with your health, right? Like discipline is in there. Now, it's interesting with the 4 of Pentacles, though, for me, because, and I also love that we start with a 4 and we end with a 4. I just noticed that. But the 4 of Pentacles comes before the 5 of Pentacles here, right? And the 4 of Pentacles, if it is too rigid, it becomes the 5 of Pentacles. Like, this is where the scarcity or the lack mindset first shows up. Like, oh, I have to save all of my money, just in case. Or I'm not going to spend because, like I'm worried that I'm going to be able to replace this money. It's also not just completely blowing all the money that you have either. So, there is this dance between discipline and building, creating a sense of stability, but not being, like not keeping that in a chokehold, And like I said, like it is interesting that we start with a 4 and we end with a 4. Whereas like the 4 of Wands are, the actions that you're taking and the people around you. The 4 of Pentacles is about taking care of yourself. It's, it's like paying yourself first, which could be a thing. Like, maybe it is like, sticking away 5, 10, 20, 50, whatever, that you can manage, sticking that away in a bank account as soon as you get paid. And then budgeting for other bills. And that, it's like emergency funds, or maybe you start saving up for something specific. It also even feels like being locked in, because then we have it with the Wheel of Fortune, and the Wheel of Fortune is just change in general. Like it whatever has been going on, that is going to change. If there has been, a lack of security, a lack of stability, that is going to change. And again, like it feels like you're getting locked in on, I need to make sure that like I am taken care of, versus, just kind of waiting for somebody to come in, or expecting that to show up, through other people. Or it could even just be like, instead of making sure, it's like, if you were, again, right, like just kind of like giving too much to other people, but the motivation behind that was so that you would be taken care of, right? It's like taking that back. And the Wheel of Fortune is good no matter where it shows up to me. Like anytime it shows up, I'm like, it's changing for the better. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.